It's so good to see everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome back to the second day. So apparently, what's being suggested is that every single glance is an eternal glimpse of infinity. Then apparently, blinking happens, divided by the seer into fractured moments. You're a blink, happening and happening automatically. The apparent blinker imagines this impressive instance into historical events, past, present, future. Infinity becomes a fable of seeing time without time. So the seeing, the seer, and the seen has no division. The glimpser, the blinker, the perceiver is the mirage, the illusion. So everything that it sees is a fragmented, illusory version of the infinite. It sees segmented illusions. So apparently, emptiness winked at itself. I don't even know how to wink. Um, but the wink missed the cosmic joke. It didn't hear the laughing track. So apparently, we're here and not here, appearing and disappearing, simultaneously, spontaneously. So apparently, it's just what's happening. And this happening is a mysterious, radiant, vital version. Or not even a version, it's what is. What is does not need anything added. It is without any engagement, without relations, it's without influence, it's infinite motion without a doer. It's automatically running without a driver. It's speaking without a speaker. It's seeking without a seeker. Seeing without a seer. Hearing without a listener. It's like a scripted reality show, but there's no one in it and there's no script. So in this apparent blink, apparently all the stories happen, all the history appears, all the vision happens, all the audio is heard, but no one's hearing it and no one's seeing it. Because this blink is the appearance of the infinite. It's an illusion. And in this blink, in this apparent glimpse of this apparent reality, it deludes itself, thinking that what it sees, what it hears, what it thinks it hears, what it thinks it sees as reality. But reality is just a blink in this mysterious happening that's not happening at the same time. So what's appearing is just it's a joke. It's an apparent joke of seriousness, of sadness, madness, frustration, whatever seems to happen changes. It moves, infinitely moves, without anyone influencing it. In this apparent movement, in this apparent motion, the motionless, the stillness, the emptiness is as it is. So whatever is seen is also as it is, but it appears like an illusion. Um, Someone actually said that, the movement is like an obsessed lover that keeps on waiting for that happily ever after, missing out the unconditional love that is always on offer from that unrequited perfect lover. So seemingly out of this mysterious unconditional love comes out stories about despair, desperation, thinking that it lost the beloved that it's longed for. But the beloved never wavers. It's unchanging. It's unmoving. It's always present. It never, ever leaves. That's why it's perfect. But before it becomes into an idea of what this is as a beloved or as an obsessed lover, the apparent seeker, all of that is a dream. All of these words are dreamlish. No one is speaking. No one is hearing. This is not even happening. but just a tale. It's just a story. And a story with a wink, a story that's a blink, that's not even happening, but it seems real, but it seems apparent, but it doesn't even seem as it seems. It's just as it is. Because before the narrative, the storyteller, the one that thinks that they're blinking, the one that thinks that they're seeing, the one is just another idea. Because there's no one, there's no oneness. It's just an idea again. The wholeness, the oneness, the unicity, the singularity is appearing always, always. Like this, and this, and this. I think I'll end it at that. I think that's pretty. So this is just a wink and a blink apparently happening and then happening. Did you know that the eye blinks 10,000 times a day? If you have any questions, please go ahead. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Someone said, great intro. Can you write it into a blog? Sure. It's just an apparent expansion of what was being talked about yesterday about, being the glimpse, being the glimpse or being the illusion. And a little homage to Tony Parsons, the beloved, at the end. This meeting is 90 minutes because there's a Tony Parsons meeting happening. So I scheduled it so that, so people that don't want to miss that, of course. So we are the same like our fur children and plants. uh, there's no one here. These are just names, like we call children children, our plants, our puppies puppies. But these are just labels again in this apparent seeing that there's no separation. So that separation seemingly happens by labeling, by putting a name, by putting a definition, and something that is already complete. So the words and the labeling reinforces the separation. Hi, Emerson. Thank you so much for the opening. Can you talk about the day-to-day activities of the apparent Emerson? It's just really simple. It's nothing, extraordinary. I wake up. There's no one that wakes up. Levitation techniques happen. I've reached about 6 feet levitation. There's a there's a kind of like rubbing of the third eye chakra so that no, it's just everything is a story. So apparently, a character wakes up, walks the puppy, eats some breakfast. It's nothing extraordinary. There's this idea that when there's no one, that is just floating in ether, and it just appears all of a sudden out of nowhere. Although everything that's being mentioned is just a story, the story of Emerson is not really relevant because there's no one really in the story. It's just what seemingly is happening. So, walking happens, eating happens, seeing happens, hearing happens, laughter happens. It's just the same. It's just the same. It's not something any different. Are there any practices? No, no. There are no practices to. There's This is not a state, right? So practice is trying to get into a state. There's a rejection of what seems to be appearing. So there's a practice to get into a preferred silence or preferred um, clarity, but everything is already clear, everything is already silent. So there's no diving into silence, there's no contemplating, there's no abiding, and there's nothing wrong or right about that. If whatever relaxes in the dream is just what is, but after seemingly 10 years of practices, or probably more than that, we were joking around yesterday about going into kind of like a dynamic ecstatic meditation. Um, it's already ecstatic. It's already dynamic. Everything is as is, um, and there's nothing really wrong with any of that or right about that. But what seems to be shared here is that it's not really necessary because there's no state that's being maintained. There's no position that's being controlled. What is different listening to you live than watching you later on YouTube? Nothing really. It's just a story. Watching on YouTube and listening to this live is seemingly just this appearance. It's all appearances. But in the story, some people will say that, I think someone was mentioning yesterday, that there's this energetic, something when listening live, and there's a lot of distractions sometimes when they're listening to YouTube. Um, and that's just a story as well. So nothing really. It's the perceiver. So the perceiver will say that, oh, I went to this meeting and it felt really energetically alive. But the same can be said about a YouTube. And this is just a story again. Some people will watch the one on one and it will be the end of them. And sometimes people will watch this over and over again for like, I don't know, in like 6 months or something, and they still are addicted just to the narrative. But no one's doing anything, nothing is happening here, no one's talking here. It's just this speaking happening, so listening happening. And that's basically it. It's really simple. It's really, really simple. But thank you for the question, July. You mentioned.
Emerson.
Oh, hi. Hi, July.
I'm sorry,
No
don't want
worries.
to interrupt you.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead,
If
please. Go ahead. I,
if
I, I
if
forgot what I was going to
nothing
say.
if nothing is happening,
Hmm.
so speaking does not happening as well.
No, that's true. Yeah. Speaking seems to be happening. There's no speaker. Let's go a little bit further. Since there is no time, since this is an illusion, any ing, speaking, walking, talking, laughing, crying, is just another illusion. But it's not a separate illusion. It's just the movement. So anything that seemingly is moving, that is motioning, is another illusion because this is really stillness. This is emptiness. This is timeless. So for timelessness to appear as time in segmented moments in this apparition that there is an event. This is a non-event. So this is not happening. So speaking is happening apparently, listening is happening apparently, but since there is no one, it's just an appearance. It's just seemingly layers and layers of illusion. For example, someone will be saying that I'm interpreting that as, as something that, and then there's another apparent one that interprets it, but there's no others and there's no interpretations of what's happening. Any interpretation or any kind of understanding of what seems to be going on is an illusion. It's the veil.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's yes.
It's just an expression of, for example, you know what, it's an expression of what seems to be going on, just this apparent mysterious happening that's really aliveness. You know what I'm saying? It's like an animated nothing, but since it's nothing, it's really nothing.
Nevertheless, this character would like to have, or has the tendency to have, of course, a wonderful life.
Yes, of course, yeah. But wonderful life is just another an interpretation of what life should be. It's kind of like saying I want a sweet apple. There's nothing wrong or right about that, but sometimes apple are sour.
Mm.
It's not always sweet. Sometimes it's tangy. But there's nothing wrong or right about the preference. It's just what's happening too.
Although it's not happening.
Although it's not happening too, yeah. This is just the blink.
Mm.
An extended
Yeah.
blink. Isn't it hilarious though? That that there's this appearance of this realness that seems to be going on, that seems to be historical, and it has a progression that's always changing, that's always morphing, but it's really emptiness. That's not even with the emptiness with the illusion that it's moving, but it's not even moving. Hi, Emerson. Is this condition of the senses, if there's no sight, person can't see when the eyes aren't working, so they are less likely to be a person? Are they less real? No, no, no. Everything is unreal and feels absolutely real. So even when an apparent person can't see, what seems to be the experience of the apparent blind person, it feels like real blindness or real experience or real reality. So it doesn't really matter what the condition of the senses. Um, it's all an illusion. So even without the senses, even without the no sight or no hearing, there's an apparent realness to what seemingly is a perceived individual experience of what is whole. So the apparent character that, for example, is blind will experience it as a blind person, but it doesn't lessen the illusion. Just to put it that way, there's no blind and there's no one that sees. It's all an illusion. So there's nothing less or more. Otherwise, you'd see a whole bunch of sages trying to go blind. And there's actually some people that hold their hand up, in India, and hold it there for quite a while just to experience what is, and they'll hold it for a whole bunch of years or something. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's quite fascinating. Hi, Emerson. Listening to you live is different for this character. It seems more clear and seems more impactful than watching you on YouTube. How is that happening? Is that my perception, or is it the same for others? There are no others. And there's really no one watching this live. And there's really no one watching this on YouTube. See that all the perceptions are the same, but it has different flavors to it. So the flavor seems to be that, oh, this is more spicy than watching it on YouTube. But it's just a flavor. It's just what is. It just seems to be what's appearing there. But there's no here and there. How about seeing you in live person? um, apparently, what I'm saying, when there's this a live, meeting, when there's an in-person meeting, it's all going to be stories, right? So some stories will be that there is this radiance, or sometimes it's really boring. I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. In the live setting, though, I see all the audience. I see everybody. I see the apparent reaction. So this speaking is like a reaction to what is apparently being asked or whatever, right? So, um, and that's why when I do my opening, I go to the other screen and I look at all the apparent squares, although there's no one there. Kelly goes, all, what do you mean that all perceptions are the same? So all perceptions might appear varying degrees of what is being perceived. So it could be perceived as good or bad, but good or bad is just actually just an illusion. So all perceptions are an illusion, because the perceiver, the one that's perceiving, is the blink or the glimpser or the illusion. So everything that it perceives, even if it perceives real or unreal, is also an illusion, because real and unreal is just words, basically labels of what is um, just happening, this mysterious happening and happening. But Anne continues, but the seeing is conditioned to experience the same thing with each of the 10,000 blinks. It's gone, it's back. So G2 here, I'm not sure if I'm reading that right. Dependence on conditioning for stability. Again, yeah, there's the experiencer, right? And the experiencer will have in the story, right? In the story, the illusion is very persistent, so it will have a history. It will have a conditioning. It would have an experience. It would have a history. It would have whatever historical stuff, or a setup or a makeup or genetic makeup. But all of that, when it's seen that there's really no time, so conditioning is just an appearance in time, which is an illusion. So yeah, it's all illusion. There's no lesser or more than illusion. There's no everything is irrelevant basically. But if you want to expand more on that, Anne, please go ahead. Maybe then I didn't quite get the question.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi, Anne. Hello,
Hi.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Good to
Okay.
hear you.
And you? Let me think. What is it I'm trying to say? There's an experiment they did with cats, and
Is it a
so they got
Schrodinger's cat?
so they had them in the room with horizontal. Everything in the room was horizontal,
Mm-hmm.
and then at one point they put them in a room
Mm-hmm.
with tables and chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't discern the legs
They couldn't what? Sorry.
because so the legs they just kept walking into the table legs, they
Okay.
kept walking into the chair legs, because they couldn't see them.
Yes.
So is that like the conditioning with what we see? Is it um I don't know. Is what you see different to how you were seeing before? I know there's
Oh, okay,
possibly a
okay.
difference in the quality of that, and I guess also the way people describe their experience of something different is glimpse, which to me implies a visual.
Let's go back into um that's a lot of
Sorry.
things there. No, no, no. I'll try to. I'll try to. So, in the apparent infinite expressions of this wholeness into separation, there's going to be infinite differences. For example, there's different. All of our eyes are different. All of our fingerprints are different. So all apparent experiences, although it's all illusion, right? There is going to be differences. So you're going to hear apparent characters with different experiences in, in their seeing, apparent, differences in their apparent awakening. Although none of that is real. So the illusion appears in unique ways.
But
You know what I'm saying? So
there's
for
more
example, sorry, go ahead.
there's more similarity than there is difference.
Yes, yes, but it's also all different.
Okay.
There's not a singular kind of like expression of this. There's not a cookie cutter, right? For example, I just put an example of differences, right? For example, someone is I'm not sure if this is the right term, but color blind, right? Or color challenged or something. Someone will see orange as yellow, or green as blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different perception, but all of that perception doesn't mean that the one that sees the yellow orange and the one that sees the orange yellow is
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong. It's just so
Mm-hmm.
all perceptions are equally illusory. They're
Yeah.
just really
But
descriptions of something that is doesn't have any differences even, but is seen
there
as
are
a yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
there are people that don't have those distinctions though, do they? Or they have more distinctions. So
Yeah, yeah.
with
It again.
colours,
Yeah.
there's people who can't see, let's just say for instance, red, but there are people who have 10,000 words for different qualities of red.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
So,
Yeah, it's just different. You know what? And the illusion is so persistent that even the differences. For example, if you're
mm,
walking down the street in a subway or a metro, there's like hundreds
mm,
of people there. Every single one of that illusion will have a story. Every single
mhm,
one of that apparent illusion will have a narrative about their individuality, will have a
mm,
history, will have a goal, will have dreams, or whatever, or none. Um,
mm,
and it's like walking into a, I don't know if you play video games, walking into a
mm,
virtual village, and then someone will have the key to this or whatever, and you every kind of like avatar, but there's just one game. There's no separate
mhm,
gamers. And this game has a whole bunch of different characters in it, different kind of like stories and everything. There's different perception, or in video games, different have abilities or powers or whatever. But all of them, the moment
mhm.
that you shut down the game, none of them is real.
I mean, the only game I know is Mario Brothers. That's it. So I don't know. They just jump on things. So
the role
um,
the, the role playing games is the role playing games, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons.
mm, mhm,
When there's this character that's seemingly kind of like going back and forth, kind of like trying to solve a puzzle or try to free the princess or whatever, or slay the
okay.
dragons, that kind of thing,
Yeah,
right? we'll
yeah,
have we'll
yeah,
have
yeah,
various different characters that would have different kind of like, this character will help me get to the village, this will have
yeah.
kind of like, will you choose yes or no, right? So
And they collect things and they
yeah,
help them on
collect
their way,
things
and
and
that kind of
help them
thing.
on
Yeah,
their way. Yeah, it's all a narrative.
yeah,
It's all a story. And
mhm,
and it's seemingly, I'm saying seemingly. It's kind of like, I don't know if you read that book, Choose Your Own Adventure, as a kid. That you would get to a chapter, if you choose yes, go to page whatever, go to whatever. So it's always going
What
to
was
be
that?
there's a book when I was growing up, apparently, called
Yeah.
Choose Your Own Adventures. So choose your own adventure. You know what I'm saying? It's like the book
Okay.
version of the video game right now. So if you choose
Yeah.
to jump to the left, if you choose to jump to the right, go to
Okay.
page 26 and 27. It will have a different outcome.
Um,
Yeah. And so when you go to
yeah,
page
yeah,
26, and the story continues again, and it has another
yeah,
cliffhanger. If you
yeah.
choose to eat the apple, choose this or choose that. So it has different
Mm-hmm,
variations of endings. So it's a very interactive illusion. So the
mm-hmm,
illusion will
mm-hmm,
interact with the illusion as if it's real, maintaining the
mm-hmm,
reality of this illusion, the reality of the story.
mm-hmm. But actually, it's all in this book.
It's all in
Mhm.
this book. It's just the book, is what I'm trying to say. None of
Yeah.
that is real,
Okay.
right? None of this is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. So there will be different perceptions, different characters, different meanings, and all that kind of stuff. But
mm-hmm,
they're all just stories.
mm-hmm.
My puppy's crying outside. Can you hear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
My brother's supposed to be here
Go
to
on.
take care, but she keeps on escaping and goes to my door. And
Go on. Let her chew up all your leaves. Go on. um, okay. Uh,
did it? I'm not sure if that answered your question. It just went into this story about perceptions and characters and differences and all that kind of stuff. Basically,
mhm,
they're all the same game, or they're all the same book. They're all the same story.
mhm,
And there's only one perceiver, and that perceiver is not even real.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, we're back to the perceiver, and
Yeah.
um, I think here the perceiver is still real.
Of course, you know what I'm saying? If the illusion is going to be a perfect illusion, is if it's the infinite illusion of the infinity, then it's going to feel absolutely real. Otherwise, it's going to be a really shitty illusion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think the thing is that sometimes I talk around it because, it's like when you speak about the character, I'm always sort of like a bit wary of like creating something else by speaking like that. Having one of those personalities with like 6 bits to it. So like that's Sue, that's Enid, that's Mary, and because of speaking like that and the way that the neurology works,
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
No, I just about managed with what I've got. I don't want to be more. Thank you.
There's nothing wrong, right? It's
Okay.
just what's being expressed. It's just what's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, Anne. I'm
Thank
just
you,
going to let my
Emerson.
dog in for
Thank
a moment.
you.
Just sorry. She's just sorry about that. July goes, if the me stops, will the belief system collapse as well immediately, or will this happen gradually? This is just a story because there was never really a belief system, and there was really no me to stop or start. But in the story, seemingly when there is a seeing that there's never been anyone here, um, again, you know what? And this is just a story as well. Seemingly, some characters seem to have a gradual unfolding, and seemingly there's a collapse in a belief system. Um, and there's nothing wrong or right about that because both are stories. There was no belief system to collapse anyway. There are some speakers that have had a gradual kind of like, it's not even noticeable. It's just seemingly a dropping of belief system. For this character, while it was seeking, there was this seeing that the belief systems didn't really have a ground to hold on to. So when the character, the me seemingly stopped, that was never there in the first place, there was a collapse of the belief system. So everything that rises falls, rise fall. It's just seen as mosquitoes. It's not dropping mosquitoes that were never really there. Sometimes belief bites, but it's not real. If you want to expand on that, Julie, please go ahead. July, sorry, not Julie.
It was perfectly explained.
Oh, thank you, July.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Kathy.
Oh, good morning.
Good
Well,
morning.
maybe it's good afternoon already. Who knows?
I'm not sure actually. What time is it?
No, it's 10 to 11, something like
Okay.
that. No, what difference is it? I said, you're very gray today.
Sorry, what did you say?
You're very gray.
Oh, thank you. I thought you said grape or gray. I'm not hearing this.
Gray.
Gray.
No, with
Oh,
the
yeah,
pop,
yeah.
with the pop of red, which I like.
Oh, thank you.
It
Thank
looks
you.
nice.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
you're
you.
very fashionista.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's just a
I
love for
said,
colors.
I wish I could understand. You know, I never played a video game in my life except for what was that white one where the ball went back and forth?
Pong.
And of course, Pac-Man. Everybody played
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I said, you know, maybe the you know people that are younger and you who's like the techie, you know, you have a better able to go into that artificial world easier, you know. I mean, I don't know, you know, because I guess this unreality can feel like AI in a
It
sense.
does, yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. Seemingly, you know what I'm saying? Although AI is just another story, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no really artificial or intelligence. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're
Yeah.
getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels it feels like it's like, you know, when you're waking up in the morning, you know, sometimes when where am I kind of like thing. You know that kind of like that. I don't know if you've ever had that waking up or what if people that usually drink, you know what I'm saying? They have a blackout. Where am I? Who am I? You know, who's right beside me? And then the apparent memory comes back. You're like, oh yeah, there was something that happened last night. Or there's a
No, that
blackout.
came back right away this morning because I was like, damn him. Wow, some wild dreams, totally wild. I'm not
Yes.
going to waste people's time and explain what happened, but woo!
Oh, please do.
I was like, you know what? I said, no, don't listen to that. Anyway, you know, no, the one thing I was on my mind this morning, I was really thinking, I said, you know, you were raised Catholic.
Yes.
And, you know, the intensity at Catholic school.
Yes.
Did you? Yeah.
I did. I did elementary and also high school.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, the intensity of all, and, you know, I was into it, believe you me, going even to Catholic, you know, whatever, in college, whatever, you know, so the intensity of all those rituals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Totally.
The Mass, the novenas, the beatification, you know, on, and every, whatever age you had to have another blessing.
Yes, you know, and it's kind of like really funny because I really wanted to get out of those rituals and everything, and just to land in you know teaching rituals, you know, like meditation, mantras, you know what I'm saying, going to darshans, you know what I'm saying, it's the same thing. You know, I had a mala bead all the time, and then one time my mom was praying the rosary, and I'm like, oh, it's the same thing, and I found out that it's the same beads. It's like 108.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I counted.
Is it?
No.
It's not?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not.
okay. It's not, okay.
The rosary is much shorter.
Is it? Okay. I thought it was 108
That's
beads.
why your mom says, that's why your mom says 3 a day.
Oh, that's right.
No, my aunt used to say at least 3 a day. My mom went to mass every day.
Yeah, my mom
It
still does. My mom still does every day. She watches the online church.
Oh, the one on TV. They have them on TV.
One on TV. She lights the candles. You know what I'm saying? She's a very devout Catholic, right? There's this devotion is devotion, and if you look at spirituality, there's a lot of devotees, like a lot of bhakti.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You couldn't be practiced without the devotion.
Yes. So there's a soft spot here for bhaktis like my mom, you know, because there's just this there's a seeming kind of like surrender.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. Just like if I see a priest today, I say, "Thank you, Father, for I have sinned." That was the first prayer when you went into the confessional.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, I have a funny story because I went with my parents to church, and you know, and then my brothers were like, "Did you burn when you touched the holy water, Emerson?" I'm like, you know, the holy water, you know, you go inside and you kneel.
No.
You know, and...
When I was a kid, there was, you know, you'd be praying. You didn't get on the line. There was one priest followed, and I don't know. Maybe you said you stole a piece of candy or something. The whole class would know because he'd be like, "Whoa." And he'd roar out of the confessional. You'd hear this loud scream. So I practically wet my pants by the time I was like, please don't let me get him, because he would just scream. But anyway, the other thing I was going through this morning, I said, I was kicked out of the church.
Ooh, rebel.
Well, not technically, not excommunicated or anything, but which is what they did to the priests that had sex. But I had wound up with this. Well, I had it a long time, but they only found it late in my life. Celiac.
Okay.
So you can't have any wheat products, so I couldn't receive the host.
Oh, wow.
So I have a whole
That's why
Irish
you're here. Just joking.
I was going to give you the finger. I have a whole Irish Catholic family.
Oh, wow.
I have
Irish
a whole
Catholic
Irish Catholic.
That's intense.
Wait,
Irish
so everybody
Catholic.
so imagine there'd be a funeral mass or a celebration mass or Christmas mass. The whole tribe goes up to receive, and I have to sit in the seat. Now, what did that look like?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How degrading was that?
Yeah.
Because, of course, everybody in the family, I kept saying, I can't receive. I have a disease.
Wow. Yeah.
But there were people there that weren't into the didn't know they were like, what a shame. Naughty girl. She got to get to confession.
Oh, wow.
So that really sent me, I guess, when I started running after the next group of people to try to find sanctity. Yeah.
It's so silly now that it's seen that's just really powered by belief systems, right? That without this, without that receiving or something, that you're not you're sinful or something, or that you have to go to confession. And it's the same belief that goes underground in spirituality. If you really look at it, right? There's this belief that goes underground, and it believes in either it becomes a purpose, that belief in divinity, the sacred, the belief in Satchitananda, and it becomes a belief in awareness, a belief in consciousness, a belief in this, a belief in a guru.
Listen, it's very easy. It's very easy. People are looking, people are in pain. This separation, this is intense. People are looking, people just want to be soothed.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Like you called your mommy, your mom's the bhakti,
Oh, yeah, my mom is.
There's nothing wrong with.
My mom has had 4 brain surgeries, right?
I know.
And then every time that she would, after kind of like an operation, of course, you know what, she tells this story that she looks glowing all the time after. She looks young. She looks glowing all the time, and she said that I was just really praying, and I surrender whatever the outcome is, and then she has this lightness about her, and meanwhile the entire family is crying and bawling and petrified, because the surgeon will say, just being honest, that you can say goodbye to her. This could be a goodbye in all the operations, because it's a very invasive operation. And what seemingly kept that, and here I was, trying to be the enlightened one, and trying to be like, faking it, and really I just wanted to sob with my brothers and my sister, and I'm trying to hold the whole thing together,
the family together,
but really I was falling apart, and when no one's watching, I'm sobbing and everything, but all of this pent up, because there's this belief that what was it? Was it the belief that whatever it is that I'm lecturing before, you know what I'm saying? So there was this imprisonment of the belief system,
right,
that
but the strength that the family finds in the religion, in the I mean,
yeah. Again, in the dream, everything is
plenty of people do it.
Oh yeah,
plenty.
Totally. That's why when I see the Ishkan, devotees, saying there's this kind of like, okay, yeah, they're just bhaktis, you know what I'm saying? There's just this in loveness, and it is what it is. There's no others really.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you for sharing that. You know who was also a Catholic before was Tony.
Oh, he went, yeah, but he was something before Catholic, I believe. I
I'm
know
not
he was
sure.
in Osho's ashram, but before that, before I thought it was something else, more like I don't know,
Yeah.
more on the lines of alien.
I'm not sure about that, but but I know that he was a Catholic, and my mom's wish for me actually was to become a priest.
Oh, that's every Catholic
Every
mom's
Catholic
wish.
mom so wish. That's
So
why,
I
you know
wanted
what? That's why when
one
I was
priest in the family. There has to be one priest
there
in the
has to be
family.
one priest in the family, and
Oh my God. And when that priest comes to the house, everybody bows down. It's like, it was crazy. Yeah.
oh yeah,
This
yeah.
is crazy. The quick, he's coming, clean
Oh
from
yeah.
that. It was funny. I remember how we treated the priest. Like
We my
he was
brothers and I
God
were rebels
himself.
when we were young. We were in a community that we have a Maltese priest, right? And we would try to copy
Excuse me,
his
a what?
Maltese. He's from Malta, from Malta.
Oh, Malta. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he was, he
Yeah.
had this, very, I guess the accent, right? And we would copy it in the house, and my parents were just like horrified that we're doing that, making fun of the priest. It's so sacrilegious.
Yeah. Right, right. God himself is in the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't dare.
we will be
Yeah.
like, body of Christ. We would copy it, and as a
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. Sacrilege.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so when my brother was asking me, "Do you talk to your parents about Nando?" I'm like, "No, no, no. I actually tell them not to listen to it because it goes against their belief system."
Well, your family was probably what's the word? In the Philippines, when Jesuits come in. However it happened, I mean, I don't know. I guess your parents know the history,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that
Every
happened all over the world.
all over the world, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what miracle they showed every place. I don't know. Who knows? But people were looking. People are looking. That's why people are here. For God's sakes. That's why we're
Looking for
sitting here.
miracles. Yeah. Well, the miracle is already appearing in every.
Well, I'm not expecting a miracle. Sorry,
Well,
Emerson.
no, no, no. The miracle is this appearance. This the
Oh,
small little things, the
yeah.
grass
Yeah.
blade, the sun, the doggy that's licking my feet right now. That's a
Oh,
miracle.
she's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's been sitting there all this time?
No, she was crying outside. My brother's here to help me, take care of the puppy.
He's a terrible babysitter. Fire him.
She always escapes. She always escapes and somehow ends up at the door, crying. And when she gets in, she's quiet. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
but I
She's
mean,
good.
that's what I'm saying. She's been sleeping there or whatever she's doing. What is she doing? Chewing a bone?
She's licking my heel right now, licking my feet.
Licking the feet of the master.
Now she's
I bet it
biting it.
feels good. I used to like when the cat licked my feet because cats have a rough tongue. It's like getting getting loofah or something. Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kathy. Thanks for the chat.
I don't know how to put my.
Patrice goes, hi, Patrice. Patrice, is it Patrice from Ireland? Patrice goes, wild dreams last night here too. Cemeteries and funerals featured. The dream of death. Hi, Emerson. I had an intense glimpse last night, but it's more like a blackout where everything seemingly appearing blanked out and there was no time, there was no space. And then the apparent me came back and it was crying. What happened? Nothing. 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 But you can talk to me later about that if you like. But it's really nothing. It's really nothing. This apparent appearance, disappearance, is just it's just an appearance. The appearance of whatever. Seemingly, there seems to be some. Yeah, it's really nothing. It's really nothing. Thank you, Emerson. Yes, it was really nothing. Thank you. Bjorn goes, yesterday was great and I enjoyed the Zoom meeting. Today I get anxious hearing the message. Weird. Yeah. Again, there's just this fluctuation of seemingly, you know what I'm saying, um, hearing that there's nothing to hear. That there's nothing here, that there's no one here. Um, yeah, it can get really confronting, this communication. Someone here said, can Patrice share her wild dreams? If you like, Patrice, go ahead. Or not. There's a comment here. Maybe because what is being expressed here that you are not here, that you're a glimpse or a blink, that's why it could be anxiety happening. Hello, Kim. Hi.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
Hello. You know, I just I actually wanted wonder if you please could give me a harder knockout punch because 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 there seems to be something here just keeps going around this perceiving, experiencing, the perceiver, the experiencer that constantly tries, and I hope, of course, this is hopeless, but constantly tries to grasp this in some kind of, I don't know, recognition or understanding. So I don't know what I'm asking you about actually, other than could you please punch me?
Who am I going to punch though?
Yeah, yeah. It just seems that perceiving without a perceiver, it's just
it's
doesn't.
it see it's just another narrative about something that is just what's happening, right? So getting caught up again and trying to, so the seeming perceiver is trying to perceive, although when it's being expressed that there's no perceiver, it's an illusion.
Yeah.
So the perceiver maintains itself by trying to perceive what's being expressed as a perceiving. So it just goes into this cyclical story about something that, although it's being expressed here, that it's not real, but it tries to make it real by trying to understand it. You see, trying
But
to
it has,
try
yes,
to process
yes, I agree with you. But it's at the same time, it's also like it's so adamant that there has to be a perceiver for perceiving to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, but who's adamant though?
Yeah.
So it
Oh
just,
my
there
God.
it is again. There it is. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. It's in everything. But it's not about getting rid of that, because that's also emptiness, right? So there's a separation, that there's this perceiver and there's this emptiness and there's this whatever. It's all the same. It's all the same game. It's like in a video game, there's many different characters called the perceiver, there's the emptiness and everything, but it's all the same game. It's all whole. But the apparent programming of the game is to think that it's separate. So it keeps on going into this, well, who's the perceiver? It's just what is happening. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's going on. But seeing that it's just the game, it's kind of like stepping back. You're like, you're too busy playing this game and everything. I'm trying to beat emptiness here. How do I get rid of the perceiver? But it's just a singular player that's doing that. This perceiver keeps on coming up. How do I delete that? And you're trying to, with your joystick, trying to kind of play and everything. And then you try to go to, I'm like, hey Emerson, I'm in this game that there's this perceiver. Is there a cheat book to that one? Can you punch me out? Can you punch out the perceiver? No, because it's a game.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a
Insane.
whole, it's just a book. It's just a book. It's just all stories. That's what's being expressed here, that everything is a story. The perceiver, the perceived, the perceiving, it's all the same game. It's called perception of reality. And it's a game. But reality is also a game. It's not real. There's no players. Just a game.
Hmm. Although you say there's nothing to be done, nothing helps, and so
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
this actually does something energetically. It's just, yeah.
It's trying to come up again with something, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I
Oh,
saw it.
yeah,
I saw it.
yeah. Although it's being
Oh
said
my
that
God.
it's all an illusion. You're like, well, there's another illusion here, though, that no, that's also an illusion.
Yeah.
everything that you do, everything that you perceive, everything that you think, everything that you will say is a story. It's an illusion, including this, including that, including the nodding. It's in everything, including the laughter. Hooray!
Oh,
It's all illusion. Hooray!
yeah.
Even the blinking of the eye is an illusion. There's no one blinking. It's automatically happening.
Hmm.
Yeah. And even trying to process this now is an illusion. There's no processor. There's just this imaginary wheel turning, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
There's no way out because out is an illusion.
yeah.
It's just this. That's why it's a wink. It's a joke.
Yeah. I feel like a clay pigeon, and you just keep on shooting.
Oops.
Yes. Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Thank you. July goes, everything happened my, in quotes, life was a story. I cannot believe anything anymore. It's really not possible to believe no matter how much I struggle to bring them up. Yes, yeah. So there's this automatic, automatic kind of like seeming reaction to this. It's kind of like blinking, right? There's this belief that it's always a separation. The reaction is seemingly a separate. So when the reactor and the reaction is seen as nothing, it's just a happening. There's no one reacting anymore. There's no one perceiving anymore. Kind of like we're talking about, everything that seems to be happening is not believed anymore. It's like, okay, all right. You can't even say it. You know what I'm saying? It's just this resonance that there is something that is not something. If you want to expand on that, July, that would be great. Because no matter what comes up, right? No matter what seems to appear, kind of like what I was saying, it's shot like a clay pigeon. There's no solidity. Oh, hi. Go ahead,
Hi,
July.
Emerson. Again, you have explained it very well, very perfectly.
Thank you.
I was just trying to bring the old stories back. For example, just the love sickness. It was very, 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 very heavy for me.
Oh yeah.
When I left a partner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or it was so brutal, and now I realize I try to bring the story back, and it's just laughable. But
it is. It is.
But in this time, it was full of drama and wow, full of pain. Yeah.
Oh yeah. In any story, right? It could be like, in the middle of a storm or an earthquake or something. At that apparent moment, it's so devastating, it's so scary and everything, and then you tell a story about it afterwards, after it apparently happened and everything, and it doesn't have that weight anymore. It's just seen as a story. It feels real and unreal, but when it's seen as it is, you know what I'm saying, as it is, of what's happening, that it's just a maintenance of reality. Everything is.
Well, it is not for me here. It's not like a thing. It is just like it is. I cannot even think about it.
Good. It's just as it is.
Just...
Yeah. The extra belief and everything fell away now, right? That's good. It's like the
Yeah.
I call it kind of like when something comes up, it always goes down the drain. It's like this,
Yeah.
it's like going
Yeah.
down the drain. It's like, oh, okay, oh, that's oh, it's almost like the autocorrector. There's an autocorrector
That's
now.
true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
It's isn't it?
But
Isn't it
when,
freeing? It's like,
yeah,
oh, oh,
is
because it will still
interesting.
arise,
But
but it's
here,
auto-corrected. Yeah, it's like it's
mm-hmm.
really nothing. It's really nothing. Yeah. It doesn't go spiral into a story anymore, right? A story of like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all of this stuff, and it becomes this narrative. It becomes frustrating or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? It just spirals down the drain. It gets auto-corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suffered really, really 1 year. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just now a story.
Yeah. It's auto-corrected. It's a story.
Yeah, a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting,
You
really.
probably put a really bad review for that movie, right? It was horrible. It was devastating. It was
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
drama. Yeah, bleeding.
Bleeding.
I was bleeding for love. Yeah.
I was a
But
victim.
the
I was a victim.
no,
Or
no, no,
that
no,
kind of
no, no,
story.
no victim, no victim. Just the love is
The love
not
is gone.
there.
Yeah,
There was, it
yeah.
was not anymore there for me.
Oh,
and
that was
so.
someone else's story. Sorry.
But the amazing thing is, Emerson, it just happened. There was
Yeah.
not. How can I say, there was not a big bang
Yes.
here.
Yes. It's kind of
It's
like,
just
what? It's kind of like scents. You know what I'm saying? You usually smell a perfume or cologne of someone that you loved, and then when you smell
yeah,
it again, there's this remembrance of it, but it doesn't really matter anymore. There's no feeling to it anymore. I'm like, ooh, it's very momentary. It's really nothing. It's auto-corrected. Yeah.
I thought here would happen a big bang.
Yeah.
So wow, awakening and wow, and with angels and feathers. No, no. No.
You have to
It
make an
just
appointment for the
happens.
angels to come and Buddha to give your certificate. I can make that for you. I'm joking.
Please do it.
Joking.
I wish to see them. Okay.
You have to practice levitation first when you're about 2 feet above the ground, then the angels will show up. I'm kidding. That's what I was longing for, like like that ascension or something, and it was like, oh wow, it's really nothing. It's really nothing. Those are just the ideas that goes down the drain as well, and it doesn't really matter anymore.
I'm running away. I'm running away really, really. If I hear I cannot bear it anymore.
Yeah.
I really run away from people who claims to be spiritual.
Yeah.
I run away. I
Yeah.
cannot bear it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like this is almost like an apparent detox of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing, July. Thank you. Corey, did you want to? I see your mic is off. I'm not sure. I'll put you on anyway because I want to see you. Hi, Corey. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's weird. I can't hear you though. I think it's your speaker again or your headphone, Corey. I remember the last time. If only I can jump there, you know what I'm saying, and fix the settings for you. It could be your speaker is unplugged, or it could be that a headphone is plugged and you don't have the headphone or the microphone. But apparently, it shows that your mic is on. Um, I'm going to mute you and I'm going to ask you to unmute. See if that works. Oh, sorry, I lost you there, Corey. Hi, Corey. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll try to mute you and ask you to unmute again. There you go. It worked before, so you will. It can work again soon, I guess. Are you on the phone? You just have to unmute yourself. I think it might do the trick. I'm not sure. When I go there one day, I will teach you a tutorial. A little tutorial for Zoom stuff. Promise. When I go there. You can call me later too if you like, if you want to figure it out. Now you're unmuted, so you just have to have your either headphones or speaker, because the microphone is on your usually on your speaker for your I don't know if you have a oh, there it is. I can hear you. You did something there that created a sound. There it is. Something that you touched created a sound. Yeah, it could be a loose wire. I'm not sure. That's all right. You can call me later if you like. Yeah. I can't hear you still, no.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Yes. I'm
Right.
not sure what you did there, but remember it.
Okay. So I've got this little speaker.
Okay. Perfect.
And I've unplugged it from the laptop.
Yes.
And so I can hear you.
Now it's perfect.
And you can hear me, but it's
hear.
very faint. It's very faint because
okay.
the lads.
Okay,
so,
okay. I'll speak louder.
I'll shout.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think. If I just speak normally, can you hear me?
Yes.
I've forgotten what I wanted to ask you. Did I want to ask you? I'm I think it was to do with the person that just before was saying he'd had a blackout, and there was nobody there, no past and no whatever he said, and I was just been feeling a bit confused about that, because there's such a longing here,
Yeah.
and well, actually, why? What is it that's being longed for? Because
It's the
a
absence of everything.
that's right. So this
Yeah.
person, but the fact that there's nothing,
Yes.
emptiness, total, and nothing else, that's really, really scary for this character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And B, why would you long for whatever we're talking about
The
when
absence, yeah.
it seems that when there's nothing but that, there
Yes.
can still be enormous like pain and suffering still. Sort of a double-edged sort of question, really.
Yeah.
A bit of confusion.
So
Could
the
you say something?
absence that everybody longs for, that seemingly wants the absence, is the absence of the apparent chatter, the absence of the apparent judgment, the apparent absence of the perceiver, the apparent absence of the problems or fear or anything that seemingly is not wanted. So it longs for the absence of that, but that's all illusion. So what's being expressed there, since that's already an illusion, it's not really real. So it's longing for the absence of all that it dislikes, but all that it dislikes is actually already unreal. So when there's a seeming kind of like, and this is, somehow, what I'm saying, when there is this absence or blackout or something, there's a kind of like a collapse of the thinker. It's momentarily seen as not there, momentarily seen as not happening, momentarily seen as that there's no others. Because, for example, in a deep sleep, Corey, when there's nothing really is happening, there's no others, there's no fear, it's the absence of everything, and seemingly there's a peacefulness to it. No one has ever disliked the deep sleep. It's the most relaxing thing. So what's being suggested is that this is also appearing like a deep sleep. It's like a blackout. It's like the absence. Or the best word that's used for it, it's nothing. And it can't be figured out because you can't figure out nothing, because nothing is nothing. Yeah. It's the absence of figuring out. It's the absence of understanding. It's the absence of knowing. And that absence is always present. For example, when Corey gets up in the morning, it cooks or whatever, or dances, and sometimes there's a momentary lapse of thinking when there's no thoughts or whatever. And or sometimes when what do you love doing, Corey?
Yeah, I love walking.
Aside from listening, yes, sometimes walking, right? It's just seeing. Sometimes when you're walking, everything seems vibrant. Sometimes you see the flowers more. Sometimes when there's just this walking and there's this seemingly extended absence of thinking. It's just this, flowers blooming, the grass is, sun is shining, and that's sometimes why apparent characters love walking, is because there is this seeming kind of like disintegration of thoughts or thinking or whatever. It's relaxing. It's relaxing. um, I love running and walking. Sometimes I do 10K in the morning, right? There's just this excessive energy sometimes, and it's just like from all the cinnamon rolls. So there's just there's just so since there's no one here, there is an immense appreciation for seeing clarity as it is. So when there's no one thinking, there's just everything is as it is. Everything is as it is. There's the flowers blooming, the grass green, the softness of the heel. Everything is just this. So that's a blackout. That's a deep sleep, so to speak.
And oh, but when there's no body mind anymore,
Yeah.
no body mind, there's not even those things.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
not.
yeah. Yeah, but since there's no time, it's always no thing. It's always nothing. But nothing appears as, seemingly right now we're talking, there's this lovely Corey with, pillows behind her, light blue, and everything, the green plant, the smile, and that's just what's happening, but it's really nothing. This is not really happening. Like a deep sleep, like a blackout. It's like when you're walking down the street, you see all of these nice things. So nothing appears as Corey, appears as Emerson, appears as the pillows behind, the light blue shirt. It's just light blue bluing, wall walling, plant planting, Corey Coreying. It's just that. But all of the
Yeah,
inging is also
yeah,
an illusion.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so when the actual body mind,
Oh, sorry. So, just a reminder, people that Tony Parsons has started. We'll keep on going. Corey, someone just Petra said bye to see Tony, perhaps, but yep, you can keep on going. That's okay. That's all right.
I was just going to say, when the body mind dies, I guess because I'm at that certain age, I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be nothing, blank. But
But that's just another idea of what nothing is, right?
yes.
Nothing is not an idea. It is what it is. It's not a thing. It's just something that is perceived, right? So whatever is perceived is nothing, but nothing can't be thought about because nothing is the absence of thoughts. Yeah.
No.
But it's blank. It's not really blank, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just another thought of what is. Yeah.
I guess it's best not to try and work it out in the head, really.
Not working out and working out the same thing, because there's no one doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Love you, Corey. We'll see you guys back in a couple of hours. Some people have already left because I was not looking at the time, but it's at Tony Parsons on if you guys want to. If not, I'll be at the breakout room and I'll be walking my dog too. Bye. Love you.